Hey girl, hey, welcome to Tia's Table. Let's talk about everything from the latest fitness and wellness trends, recipes that are actually worth cooking, and the craziness that's happening on our side of the internet. Sit back, grab a snack, and let's have some girl talk. Hey girl, hey, welcome back to another episode of Tia's Table. Super excited about today's call. If you're not following me on Instagram, be sure to do that. That's where I will be sharing images and the things that go along with these calls. And I think I owe y'all an Instagram post, actually. I'm not the best with social media, but girl, when I can get up there and do it, I do it. And I think I owe you guys, I think it's a chili recipe or something from the last episode. So I'll make sure I post all of those things today. My goodness, before we start yapping, let me tell you about a couple things that have come across my little taste buds here recently that I feel like I should be passing on to you. Number one, growing up with my grandmother, we got to drink hot tea. Now, I read online recently that some people's grandmas was letting them drink coffee when they were little. Not my grandma. My grandma would let us have hot tea, which was basically exactly what it sounds like, hot tea. She would let us put as much sugar in it as we wanted to because we would get to make it ourselves. And then we would put evaporated milk out of the can in there. And it was like, so good, right? I had my first coffee like maybe a week or so ago. And I made it the way I would always make coffee, before all of this. I don't know if it's because my gut is like pure and clean right now. I don't know if it's because I hadn't had coffee since August. I don't know what was the issue with that cup of coffee, but the way that it impacted me once it hit my bloodstream, I said, oh no, baby, I can't do this. Coffee had never truly had that type of an impact on me before. And maybe it actually did, but because I was drinking coffee every day, maybe I didn't notice it. Or maybe because my activity level was higher then when the caffeine was going through me, I was actually like using it because I was doing things. I don't know, but I just know I had that cup of coffee and literally felt like it was impossible to sit down. And because of that, I ended up pacing back and forth, not truly pacing, but I was like finding things to do within reason in my kitchen. I was like, oh, let me clean the coffee machine because I just made coffee and I see like it needs to be cleaned. I don't know how he has been using this coffee machine and not cleaning it out. So I was like, let me do that. And if you have ever descaled and cleaned a coffee machine, you know that process takes a smooth like hour and 30 minutes. So now I'm listening to music, pacing back and forth between the coffee machine and the sink. And truly by the time I got finished doing that, I did need a bit of a break. But that coffee had me wired. And I said, oh no, ma'am, I can't go back to drinking this every day. Can't do it, even though I enjoy a hot beverage every single day. I said, it can't be this. And maybe it's how I make my coffee. Because see, when I make my coffee, I start with dark roasted coffee, obviously. And then I'll put a little bit of a flavored coffee in there and kind of mix it up. So I'll get whatever is seasonal that they're selling at the store that Starbucks has, whether that's like a brown sugar cinnamon or some type of apple cinnamon or whatever they have for the holiday. I'll mix just a teeny bit of that into my dark roast, right? And then we always top it off with a little bit of Cafe Bustelo because we like a dark, yummy cup of Joe. We like the way espresso tastes. So we'll put that in there and then we mix it up in our little pot. And then that's what I've been drinking. And I always use the brown sugar oat milk creamer, right? It makes for a great cup of coffee. But anyway, I was just like, yeah, and if I switch up my coffee recipe, then it won't be as enjoyable. I probably won't like it as much because it'll be missing some of these things. So maybe we just drink the coffee less. And so what I've told myself is like, okay, so we'll have our coffee on like Saturday morning. We'll do coffees on Saturdays, right? But during the week, we will have to switch over to hot tea because I can't. And so then I remembered, like, oh, growing up, girl, you drink hot tea. You know how to make hot tea because you grew up doing this. You're not new to it. You're true to it. So I'm like, I get some tea bags. I put a little bit of the sugar-free vanilla and the sugar-free caramel like in the bottom of my mug, the same way I would do if I was making coffee, right? So I put that in the bottom of my mug instead of using white sugar like I used to do back in the day. Put some of that in my mug, let the tea sit because it's got to steep. And then I use that same brown sugar creamer. And let me tell you, it tastes just like the hot tea I used to have back when I was a little girl sitting at my grandma's kitchen table. It took me all the way back to Allendale, South Carolina, being a little girl, sitting there with my cousins. Everybody's got a plate of pancakes in front of them, and we all are drinking hot tea. And it was a whole lot of us. I really just don't even know how my grandma used to do it, but she used to do it, and she would do it big, and it would be great, like all the time. But that's one of the things. As soon as I sipped it, I was just like, oh my God, it took me back to my childhood. So good. If you are looking for a tea or something to supplement your coffee, give this a shot. The tea bags that I use are black tea, so you're still getting a little bit of caffeine, but obviously not as much compared to what I was drinking with the coffee. So it won't be as much, but it's still really good. And what I also like about the tea is I feel like I could have that several times a day. Whereas with coffee, I definitely try not to drink that after like lunchtime. If I don't get my coffee in before I eat lunch, I don't even have it. But with the tea, I'm like, yeah, I can have hot tea like later in the day because it's not pumping through my system like it's something else. You know what I'm saying? Another thing that I've had recently that was good, I actually had it yesterday. Now, because I'm not in charge of the grocery shopping right now, a lot of things are coming into this house that I typically would not buy. Lots of chips, lots of cookies, cakes, sweets, all of the things. And every now and then I'm like, yeah, well, that's literally the only thing in here to snack on because the things that I would buy to snack on, people don't seem to buy those things. I don't know if the grocery store is just out of them or what, but those items are not making their way into my house. But I noticed we had some Snyder's, like twisted pretzels that were supposed to be jalapeno and ranch flavored. And I'm like, but you know what? Pretzels are actually on my approved list of things I can eat. So I will have some of these pretzels. And then my daughter gave me like a fourth of a bag of peanut M&Ms. And I'm like, okay, I will eat the M&Ms because I'm literally just sitting here crocheting, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. But I'm like, sure, whatever. Something about the way those jalapeno ranch pretzels and those M&Ms went together did my soul some kind of good. And I don't know if it's because I'm not typically a junk food like connoisseur. So maybe, again, I had just forgotten about how good these things were because I'm more of a chips and dip girl. I'm more of like a wavy lays and a good ranch dip, or like chips and salsa, chips and guacamole. We've talked about this several times. I'm more of that. So if I don't have that, then I really just don't even like graze and eat junk food, right? But this was so good. First of all, now the jalapeno ranch pretzels really don't give you heavy jalapeno, so they're not spicy. And the ranch really doesn't even give ranch. It gives more of that, when you get Smart Food popcorn, the taste of that is what you get from these pretzels with like a little smokiness on it. So they're good. I just don't think they are as described on the packaging, which really doesn't mean anything to me. The fact that it's good is all I need to know. absolutely delicious. Absolutely delicious pretzels. And when you combine it with the peanutty, chocolatey goodness of a few M&Ms, it was perfect. I had that TV on Married at First Sight, which we will also talk about in a little bit. I had that TV on Married at First Sight. I was sitting there grazing on these snacks, crocheting a little bit, and I was in heaven. I was having the time of my life. And it was in that moment that I said, oh, this is kind of where it goes left. I get it. I'm remembering. I understand now in this moment how people tell me all the time, well, I'm a snacker. I get it now. I get how you can sit down with something that tastes good, and before you know it, you have been eating that bag of pretzels for 58 minutes, because that's how long an episode of Married at First Sight is. You've been eating it for 58 minutes and you didn't even realize it. I totally get it. I understand. I understand. But those are good. And if you are going to eat something for 58 minutes while you're watching TV, I highly recommend the Jalapeno Ranch Snyder's Twisted Pretzels. I will be eating them again. Maybe not for that duration of time, but they will definitely be something that I will be bringing into the fold and rotating up all up and through my pantry, because they were really that good. And what I love the most about them is that when I let the people that live in my house try them, no one was impressed. They didn't really like them. They were like, ooh, Mom, I don't know. That's all you. And that's perfect for me. That's perfect for me, because that means now I don't have to worry about hiding that particular snack. When it comes in here, I know people will leave it alone. So if you haven't tried those, or if you haven't seen them, girl, get you some of those pretzels, get you some of those M&Ms, and then do with that what you will. You will not be upset about it. An update on me is that my big scan is next week. So I'm very, very excited about that. That is the scan that will determine when I have my next surgery. It is an enema scan, so they are going to stick something, I guess, up my behind. I have been told whatever that is that they stick up there, it comes through your colostomy bag. And then, of course, they do the imaging. Based on what the imaging shows, that will determine when my surgery will be. So I am keeping my fingers crossed, and I'm saying all the prayers, and I'm really manifesting on having a date for that would either be in November or like the very first tippy top of December. That is what I would want for myself. That way, my recovery would take place in hopefully all of December and pretty much all of January. And by like February, March, I should be somewhat back to, trying to get back into the groove of my regular life. So please continue to pray. And when you do pray, please pray specifically for a successful scan for me next week, with a surgery date that is, of course, in the timing that will be perfect for me, obviously, but a surgery date that would allow me to go ahead and have healing that would have me, back to being mobile, walking around, hopefully going out into the world and like doing some things by the end of January. I feel like that would be great. I would like that. That is the current desire of my heart. In order to make that happen, though, my physical therapist during my discharge did tell me try to get my legs as strong as they could be. So I have been doing my treadmill hikes. I have been walking on the incline like he recommended. And I have also been doing the ankle weight exercises that they showed me how to do, which when you kind of look at it, those are basically bar exercises. They're basically bar exercises. So I've been working out at my bar in the basement, And you would think that like, oh, ankle weights, they really don't do anything, but those things give you just enough. They give you just enough resistance to really make you feel the workout. Because I am just me, I did go ahead and add some bands to my workout. So, the Sweet Sweat thick bands that you can put around your thighs. I did add that to give myself a wee bit more resistance so that I could like really feel the workout and I could see how far away I was from where I would like to be before this surgery. After that workout, I wasn't sore. Like I was fine immediately after. The next day, I really wasn't that sore. Like I could feel the workout, but it wasn't that bad. But the day after that, I could definitely feel it. Like my legs are tight there and I feel the workout. So I'm just going to keep walking, keep drinking all of the water that I can so that soreness doesn't prevent me from walking and trying to get my legs to be really strong. And I was told that if I do these things and I do them consistently, then my recovery for this next surgery should not be as bad as things were previously. My goal for after the next surgery is to be able to walk without the use of the walker. If I had to use the walker, like it's fine. Like I don't have no feelings about the walker or anything like that. But I would see that as me having to start all the way back at like day 0, right? And I kind of feel like after this next surgery, I would like to not be at day 0. I would like to be able to at least walk with somewhat of a decent posture without anything helping me do that. And I've been told that that's possible. I just have to do the work now in order for that to happen. So y'all know I'm working on that. So let's talk about a few things. First and foremost, I would like to talk about and discuss Megan Thee Stallion's most recent single and music video. Now, because I do watch videos on TikTok and I'm familiar with trending sounds, like I remember when this particular sound or the beat that she's rapping to, like I remember when people started using that sound. Somebody on TikTok, I can't remember their name, but they had put the sound, I think, on SoundCloud. And it was the total song. And we loved it. And we thought it was so good. Okay, so the Megan Thee Stallion finds it. And if you go on his original post, you see where she's like, oh my gosh, if you give me this beat, like I'll make a song to it like tonight. And he says to her, well, DM me and we can do this. Okay, so fast forward. Here we go. We're on Instagram. We're on TikTok. She's making cute videos with Klay Thompson with this song. Like she keeps teasing it. And everybody is like, Meg, drop it. Meg, drop the song. Drop the song. Then she puts out that video of her in that, like that charcoal, gray, black, kind of white bodysuit outfit. And everybody kind of lost their minds over that video. Klay looks really proud in that video. And everybody's like, drop the song. So then the song comes out. And first of all, I was a little surprised at the responses to the song for a couple reasons. Number one, that girl, if you have been following her music as I am, because I'm still a hot girl. I joke and tell people all the time, I was born a hot girl. I will live a hot girl. And when I die, I put on my tombstone, hot girl, right? So I'm familiar with her catalog of musical selections. She has never rapped about being in love with nobody, with not a soul but herself, okay? She has never said nothing good about a man. Not that I can recall, ever. Never. So to hear her rapping about liking Klay, we're not even talking about being in love. We're just talking about liking him. The fact that she likes him enough to write a song about him was everything that I needed to know. That like, okay, yeah, they really do go together. Like for real. It's deeper than these cute little videos they put on social media. It's deeper than that. She made a whole song about it. And I thought the song was cute and fun, whatever. People, I guess, wanted her to be, I don't know, rapping a little bit deeper. Maybe they wanted to really feel like they were inside Megan's soul with this. But I'm like, no, why is it that every time she steps in the booth, y'all want it to be a lyrical masterpiece? And sometimes it's not that. Sometimes it's just a fun little bop that we can all sing along to. And I like that. I kind of like it when the girls put out songs. I can clearly understand every word they're saying. And I too can sing along because my man, right? I want to be able to do that. I think some of y'all be wanting them to put out these songs where, number one, their words are all fumbling all over each other. You can barely understand what they're saying. And you always want it to sound like a deep think piece. It's not always that serious. Sometimes it's really my man, my baby. Sometimes it's just that. And I feel like people should be okay with that. But sometimes I think people also just want it to be too much. And I feel like we've gotten further away from what we grew up on. When you go back and you think about it, every song that Lil' Kim put out, or every song that Foxy Brown put out, or every song that Eve sang, or whatever, wasn't always some lyrical masterpiece. Some of it was just, I gotta let you know that I got a crush on you. Like sometimes it was just that. And it was fun. And we like the videos that go with them. We like the videos that go with these cute little fun songs. And that's where Meg gets it right. To me, that's where she gets it right. Because even if you heard the song and you were like, oh, I'm not a fan of this song, whatever, I don't want to hear her rapping about being in love, whatever. Meg said, that's fine. That's fine if you don't like this song, but you gonna like this video. Because let me show you something. Let me show you why Klay Thompson, NBA champion, more than once he is a champion. Let me show you why he's my man, my baby. Let me show you why this man is on social media gushing over me and calling me Mrs. Thompson. And then you watch that video. Now, I have not seen the video in its entirety. I felt like I didn't need to do that. I felt like the clips that I had seen online was enough for me to know everything that I needed to know. So I haven't seen it from start to finish. And I think that's fine. I don't need to view it in order to get up here and talk about it. Because the clips that I saw, when I saw those clips, I said, number one, isn't it such a lovely thing to still be in your 20s? Like, good for her. Good for her. Isn't it such a lovely thing that she's in her 20s and she works out? That's number two. And isn't it such a lovely thing to be in your 20s and be in love and having this special time in your life? And isn't it such a beautiful thing when you can put all those things together and create art from it that inspires all these other hot girls? Because I cannot even count how many times I saw somebody saying, let me get my life right. Let me get in the gym. Let me put this, let me put these jalapeno ranch pretzels down. Let me drink some water. Like, Meg, I'm going to get on it. Let me figure out how to get on a meal plan. Like, I saw the comments. People were very inspired by what they saw. So was I. I saw that video and I said, my goodness, on this good day on social media. Now, when it's time for me to figure out how I'm going to come out of this era that I'm in, I don't know what my goals will be, right? But I do know my goal is to kind of get back to where I was before all of this happened to me, right? I do know that's part of it. But another part of it would be to make sure that whatever it takes for you to keep your limberness about you, your flexibility about you, your up and down of it all, the ability to go up, go down whilst moving in a vibrational spirit. I said, I have to keep that. I can't lose it. I'm in my 40s, but I feel like I can hold on to it for a little bit longer. So, the other day when I was down in the basement at the bar doing all of the things physical therapy told me to do, I was like, let me see if I can still go up and go down the way that I was able to do back in August. Because in August, I still had the quad strength. Because see, people think it's the knees. People think like, oh, your knees are what? And sure, your knees are a part of it. But if you want to be able to do some of the things you see these girls doing, you need really good quad strength. You need those hamstrings to show up for work. And you really do need core strength if you plan to have any type of movement while you're in that lower position. You know what I'm saying? So your quads, your hamstrings, everybody has to show up for work. You always got to train the front and the back, by the way. The symmetry is important here. And so when I was standing at the bar, I said, oh, let me try to go up and go down and see what that's giving. And baby, it wasn't giving drop it like it's hot. It wasn't giving back that ass up. It wasn't giving what it gave in August. I mean, I could go down, but the going back up was a bit slow, like an elevator. It was giving escalator. It wasn't giving, And so it was in that moment that I said to myself, oh, honey, this is how you lose it if you're going to lose it. This is how you're going to lose it. This is when it would happen. And so in order for that not to happen to me, Tia, us, we, because I speak to myself in the plural sometimes, I was like, we got to make sure we are doing all the things. And now my personal door dasher might open the door and bring me a salad because he wouldn't got it for me. And he's on the phone. So now you're going to hear everything that he's also talking about. It's okay. I told him you were coming. Thank you. Let's wait for him to shut the door. Okay. So yes, I said, so I got to rebuild my quad strength. And so the physical therapist, he wasn't wrong when he told me I needed to rebuild my leg strength so that I could see the other side of recovery. He was right. But then also when Meg released that video, she said, baby, if you want to stay a hot girl, this is what you need to be able to do. And I said, she also is not wrong. So let me make sure I'm doing all the things with these ankle weights. Now, when people saw that video and they saw all of Megan, because like I said, I only saw a clip on Threads. There was a clip, and in the clip I saw all of Megan. And when I saw that, you read the comments, and people were in the comments saying, but isn't she in a relationship? And it's kind of like, yeah, girl, because that's what the song is about. That's what the song is about. So yes, but why are you saying that? What does that man have to do with what you're looking at right now? Are we to assume that because they are dating, she would alter who she is as an artist? You mean to tell me you would start doing your job different just because somebody is your boyfriend? Because let me tell you one thing. If any of us were in our 20s and we were mega rap superstars like Megan, whatever it took me to get to that point is what I'm going to keep doing. And if you're going to date me, you got to be okay with that. You got to be man enough to be able to stand next to me. Period. Because I'm probably not going to switch up what I'm doing just because we go together. Just because we go together, and maybe that's where some people do lose the plot. It's like too much is given, and maybe these are not things that I would have said in my 20s. I'm not going to hold you, right? When I was younger, maybe I wouldn't be saying this. But now, knowing everything that I know, the wisdom that I have at 41, I'm like, girl, you better not switch up what you was doing just for him. You think he's going to start playing basketball different because he go with Megan Thee Stallion? No. He actually could have any kind of season. We don't know that he will remain the same splash brother that he always was. We don't know. So why do y'all expect her to be like covering up, switching up how she performs and dances just because some man gave her the summer of her life? No, 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 no. I feel like the girls who are famous right now and are young, they're having to date in front of the world. So a lot of the stuff I feel like people just in everyday life do, I feel like they're doing those things too. But when they do it, it's up for debate. Like people can make comments about it because there are threads and all of the things. So people can get behind their little keyboards and type what they want to. But should you remember at some point in time, you too were a young woman dating and navigating all of the things. You were dating and navigating all of the things, and it wasn't even on social media. Could you even imagine? I know I couldn't. I'm so glad that there was no social media for the entire time I was in high school and college, because I couldn't imagine. I would not want some of the side quests, shenanigans, and adventures that I have personally been on. And I was about to say something else, but I don't want to pull her into it. There's no need for nobody that was associated with me during that time to catch any kind of unnecessary strays. But me and the girls that I knew during that time in my life, oh my gosh, the things we would get into. And I'm so glad there was not a social media around to document all of that stuff. These girls are having a date publicly, and that has to be a lot of pressure. So while you cannot control people's opinions about your relationship or your artistry, your creativity, you can't control any of that. What you can control is how you continue to show up for yourself. And I feel like that's what Megan is doing. And I feel like people be real flip-flopping, like Beyonce said. One day you're one thing and the next day you're something else. So if she did switch up who she was, then y'all would be saying the same thing y'all say about Halle Berry. She looked like whoever she go with, which I'm not going to hold you. And I love Halle Berry. I'm not going to hold you, but I kind of feel like that's the truth. But it doesn't matter if that's what she want to do and that's what makes her happy. If Meg all of a sudden started acting like she was already that man's wife, y'all would have something to say about that too. For crying out loud, she changed her wig and people were like talking about that. Like, oh, she's got on that, what do y'all call that? Hard life, rich boyfriend wig. Yes, she changed a wig. Mind you, she was at the game with the boy's mama, sitting courtside with the boy's mama. So I really don't think Meg has to switch up nothing, because that lady know about her. I'm sure his mama, who he looks just alike, by the way, I'm sure that lady has Googled Megan and she knows all about it. So there's no reason for Meg to switch up who she is. There's no reason for her to change. There's no reason for her to change. And in this moment, I'm wondering if my husband gave me the right salad. Because I got one. Yeah, he did. He gave me the right one. Yes. Yes, there's no need for her to change. Why y'all want her to do that? Why y'all can't just listen to the song and say, ooh, this is not for me, and skip to something else? Or why can't you just watch the video and either be impressed or be conflicted in your own spirit and make a decision from there? Because see, when I see those kind of things, like I said, I say, ooh, now, ma'am, first of all, the freedom you must feel, right? The freedom you must feel. Because I would imagine that even if I was a rapper and that was like my thing, and let's say I put out that same music video, the way my phone would be blowing up from my family and my family adjacent would be so much, it would not have even been worth me doing the video in the first place. Because what do you mean? Like, leave me alone. Leave me alone and let the art be, let the art be the art. Some of us truly just could never. And I also feel like that's what's wrong with people too sometimes. You know you could never, but you probably want to. Like, you would want to make the video, but you would know because you care too much about what people are going to think or say. You can't. So sometimes I think people are just kind of envious of the freedom of it all. which she's in her 20s. Let that girl be free. There's plenty of time left in her life for her to be buttoned up, covered up, and all of the things. And if she's never that, which I hope she always holds on to the ability to express herself freely, if she's never that, like, that'll be okay too. If she is anything like we think she is, she probably won't. And I feel like that's also why y'all be talking junk about Cardi B. But I don't want to talk about Cardi B today. But I think that's the same thing. Y'all be mad because Cardi B keep having babies, but then like she's on tour and she still raps about the things she raps about. And because she's a mom, y'all want her to change. And let me just say, if you don't have children yet, please know that the first way to do motherhood wrong is to change because you have kids, unless you are a danger to yourself or others. But if you're just out here doing the regular, everyday stuff, girl, stay who you are. Let them have them kids. Do the best you can by them, and it's going to be all right. Like, it's fine. You'll be okay if you remain who you are. Now, as a hot girl, of course, I did not miss the opportunity to watch that Verzuz between No Limit and Cash Money. And I don't know if that Verzuz was truly for everybody as much as it was for the girls from the South. I don't know. Of course, if you were like in the clubs during that time when all that music was popular, maybe, you have a little bit of affinity for it. But I really feel like, yes, if you're from down here, which I'm not from New Orleans, but like if you were just down here when all of that was coming out, what a time. What a time. What a time. Now, going into the Verzuz, I had already told my husband, I'm like, listen, No Limit definitely had hits. They had hits. I said, but the thing about it is a lot of people might not know them. Like if you're not from here, or if you weren't around, maybe you didn't have a brother or an uncle or some little raggedy head boyfriend that was listening to that music, you might not know some of the non-commercial No Limit hits. Like you might not know about the Ice Cream Man and like some of the songs that were on that album. You wouldn't know because they don't get played on the radio today. You could literally be anywhere, like in the mall. You could be in a Pilates class. I could be in Kroger. And it's possible I might hear a song from Cash Money. I might hear Go DJ somewhere. I might hear a Millie. I might hear anything by Juvenile. Anywhere. Their music still gets played on a regular basis everywhere. In a restaurant, at parties, at wedding receptions. Their music is very commercial. And so people haven't forgotten those songs. I feel like with Master P, his music was very niche for a lot of reasons. For where he's from the time that the music came out. And you might hear his songs at like a sporting event, football game, basketball game. You might hear it getting played maybe on TV when they're cutting to commercial, something like that. But for the most part, you're really not hearing his music on a regular basis anymore. And for that reason alone, I'm like, to me, Cash Money outright wins the Verzuz for the longevity of it all, right? Now, when it comes to the actual Verzuz performance, Birdman, Manny Fresh, and Juvenile really just didn't do enough for me. And God knows Juvenile tried to carry that whole thing on his back, and he did. They did a lot of his songs. All of them, I still listen to. They're on my workout playlist. So not a diss to him, but you weren't going to be able to beat Mia X. Like, you weren't. The energy that she came with was top tier. You're not going to be able to beat out that little running jog thing that Master P and all of them do. Whatever that choreography is, I don't know what they call it. But whatever that is, You're not going to be able to beat that. You're not going to be able to beat the fact that all of them showed up dressed in the same theme. Like they came dressed as the No Limit soldiers we remembered them being. It must have been mandatory. If you're going to be on stage, you got to have that camouflage on. I don't know why Birdman, Manny Fresh, Juvenile, and BG didn't do more. Like they could have even done like the big oversized white tees just for the nostalgia of it all. They could have done that with denim and like their sunglasses and backpacks, and we would have lived for that. They could have bought that young lady from the Back That Ass Up video, the one that was dancing in the shorts. They could have bought somebody, if it wasn't exactly her, because maybe she's like, I'm not doing that. Maybe they could have bought somebody and had somebody doing it. For the love of what all I know, Tamar was up there and Tamar was dancing. Y'all could have put some shorts on Tamar, and I'm sure Tamar would have obliged. I'm sure she would have. I just feel like they lacked stage presence and performance because they knew the hits were going to carry them, or at least so they thought. I kind of felt like, yeah, the music was good and I was happy to hear all of the Cash Money songs when they came on. But I'm not going to lie, whenever it went back to the No Limit side, you felt like you was in a a No Limit music video. You felt like you were in a crowded gymnasium in the early 2000s, late 90s. You felt like you were about to play your rival and the music was so loud and it was hot in the gym and everybody is screaming. You felt like that. I remember it took me right back to the place because their energy was just there. They were outperformed. And kudos to Master P for that. They had to know that if Master P said he was going to do something, that he was going to come and do it professionally all the way. He was going to bring every No Limit soldier that he was still in contact with. He was going to bring all of them. All of them was going to be dressed, and all of them was going to know the choreography, and all of them was going to be ready. Mia X was ready. She was ready. Oh my gosh, she still sounds good. She still looks good. She was ready. It was nothing they were going to be able to do to challenge that. So as much as I am a Cash Money hot girl taking over for the 99 into the 2000s, as much as I am her, I have to be honest and say I kind of feel like they got outperformed. And No Limit really did put on a better show for that Verzuz. But am I riding around in my car listening to Master P? Not all the time. Now, some of his songs are also on my workout playlist. And when they come up, I don't skip them. But am I pulling up Master P to just listen to on my own? No, not at all. I'm just not. So there's that. I felt like it was good, but I also felt like it was quick. I kind of feel like they should have gave that Verzuz at least 2.5 hours, because when they started saying the time was up, I was like, how could that possibly be so? But yeah, I don't know. Anyway, felt like it was good. Felt like No Limit definitely won, but I will forever and always be a Cash Money hot girl. Little bit about what's on TV. Now, I'm at a weird place with TV where I'm basically just running Island Life still. There are over 20 seasons of Island Life. So I've been watching these people move to these islands off of different states. And it's been enjoyable to me to just have it running in the background. Sometimes I have it on mute while I may be talking on the phone or actually looking at something on my phone, or I'm crocheting, whatever. So I've been doing a lot of that. But what's coming up on TV, I feel like is good and it's worth mentioning. The new season of Nobody Wants This with Kristen Bell, that's on Netflix. Season 1 was amazing. I'm going to watch season 2 maybe either over the weekend or next week. The new season of Married at First Sight, that is on Peacock. I think the first 3 or 4 episodes are already up there. These couples are really interesting. They actually have a mommy-daughter situation going on this season, meaning both the mom and the daughter got married at first sight to different people. And I feel like the cast of this one is a little lackluster. Like there aren't any super big personalities on their cast. And because of that, you really do get some real relationship stuff happening on this season. So I feel like it's going to be worth the watch, and I'm excited to see where these couples go and to see if any of them actually get married at the end. A new season of Selling Sunset is coming out. I have nothing to say about that show other than I watch it every season just because. I don't know if these people are actually real estate agents, but it's good. If for nothing else, you can watch it for the fashion, because that's partly what keeps me going back to it. And then because it is the week of Halloween is on Friday. At some point this week, me and my kids will be watching our traditional yearly viewings of Beetlejuice, It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, and Hocus Pocus. I'm excited about that. If you want to get caught up on the morning show, it is so good this season, which is good every season. But what I'm really loving about this season especially is that the Jennifer Aniston and the Reese Witherspoon characters are taking a back seat to some of the more interesting storylines. And I don't want to ruin it for people if you haven't gotten caught up or if you haven't started that show yet. But I really like that it seems like they flipped it this season, and Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon, while they're still like main characters of the show, they're not the main characters of this season. And that's been really fun to watch because it allows us to get to know some of these other characters. And I'm excited to see where they go. Reasonable Doubt. Oh, and I don't want to talk about this either because I don't know if people have caught up to it. Hopefully you haven't. If you haven't seen the most recent episode of Reasonable Doubt, girl, this is where we can say goodbye because I don't want to ruin it for you. But girl, why did they have me thinking that Mama was gone? When they started doing that flashback and they were showing all these past memories between her and Jax and everybody, I thought for sure we was going to have to lay Mama to rest. When the people came out and said, like, oh, she's fine, she's in recovery, like whatever, I was like, they didn't have to do us like that. They really didn't have to do us like that. But a part of me as a fan of the show was like, that may have been the downward spiral we needed to trigger Jax so that we can get her into bed with somebody else, because Lewis has got to go. Lewis has got to go. I don't know what secret Lewis is keeping from Jax. I don't know what secret. The daddy has a secret that apparently he has told Lewis. Now, Lewis, if you can hire a private investigator, which was basically Daniel, but if you can hire him to follow that man around and you can force him to tell Jax that the mama had cancer, if you can do all those things, why you can't just tell her whatever the secret is? So the secret must be really awful. It must be something that's big, that's bad, that's going to rock Jax's world. So he doesn't want to be the messenger. But don't you know she's going to be mad at you because you knew and you didn't tell her? So that too could just be the downward spiral we need. And see, hopefully, once Jax finds out that Bill has been like playing both sides of the fence over at that law office, hopefully they move Bill out and they somehow manage to bring Corey back in. That's Morris Chestnut's character. They managed to bring him back into the fold because I know he announced he was on this season. Bring him back into the fold and he will be exactly what Jax needs when she needs it. I'm just saying. Any of these could be possibilities as we close out the season, and the season is about to close. Like, we're about to find out who really killed Wendy, which at this point, I think we all feel like it's the sister. If you have seen the most recent episode, you know why I'm saying that. The sister is dirty. She's grimy. She's got dirt on her hands. She has not been fully honest with any of us. And so once they figure that out, that lets us know that we're nearing the season finale. But I really need for either Lewis to be gone by that time or I need another possible love interest to show up and give us a cliffhanger. Either one would do me just fine. Why am I so pressed to get rid of Lewis? Because in real life, I would never tell a friend what to do in her relationship. But since this is fictional, we can pretend. I need her to get rid of Lewis because I'm like, girl, you are a strong, smart woman. And when that man had that side baby on you, that was your opportunity. That was your opportunity. But instead of you being like, Lewis, I'm not going for that, you decided to dive deeper into reconciliation and fixing your relationship with him. And that's fine, I guess, if that's what you want to do. But now Lewis just kind of looks like a wet noodle, like a sad puppy that is trotting along behind you because he doesn't know how much trouble he is in. You can tell he's trying to regain your love, like he's trying to earn your love all over again. And it's really giving forced effort. It's really giving forced effort. And it's really giving, we could do many more fun things without him in the way. I want him out of that show. I want him gone. I want him, and because you know what? You know what Reasonable Doubt has the potential to be if her and Lewis just do a quick little hiatus. I don't know if anybody ever watched Being Mary Jane. I think we all did when Being Mary Jane was on TV. I think what we liked about Being Mary Jane is that Mary Jane never got too hunkered down. She may have really fallen in love with somebody or developed strong feelings for somebody, but the second it really didn't go the way she thought it should or she wanted it to, Mary Jane was like, on to the next. We don't have to be doing this because I'm Mary Jane. I can't remember what Mary Jane's last name was. Ooh, but the connection there, Mary Jane's brother is Jax's daddy. Oh, love that. Love how the black actors just keep a check coming in. Yes. So I feel like if we could give Jax just a little bit of that Mary Jane-ness of it all, we could have a really great next season. Just give us this, writers and producers of that show. Make her get mad at Lewis for not telling her whatever it is he know about that girl's daddy. And let her be like, Lewis, that is the straw. That's the last thing that I'm going to be able to handle. You got to go. We need a break. I need some space. I need some time. Then when we come back for the next season, Corey is back because Bill is out. Corey is back to handle a special case, to help her with the special case. And then we can really get some really good office, out of office romance between the two of them. If only for a season. If only for one night, like Luther said. Just give the people what we want. We need to see it on TV. And then if and when things don't work out with Corey, because girl, they're not. He's not a forever kind of man. He's going to go back to Chicago or wherever he went, right? When he ends up leaving or they end up saying, we can't keep doing this, then, bring Lewis back. Bring him back. Maybe they can go back to counseling and we can kind of rebuild from there. But really, I think I'm just over Lewis. I think I just don't like him. Which, when you are an Aquarius, that's just how it goes. Once we decide I'm no longer interested in something, it's really easy for us to flip the page and move on to the next thing. And I don't know when Jax's birthday is supposed to be on this show, but something tells me she is not an Aquarius sister. She can't be. But that's what I would like to see for this show. It's so good, and I'm really going to be sad when it ends in a couple episodes because it's just so good. I think that's it for today. I'm trying to think if there was anything else that I wanted to talk about. People really did show out over those pictures of Ashanti, but I feel like I don't want to beat that dead horse. Everybody knows that body shaming is not cute, and for what it's worth, she looks great. If you go actually look at the pictures, she looks great. So I really don't even understand what the uproar was about that. Oh, you know who else looks really good? And then I got to go because I want to eat my salad. Maya. Apparently, Money Long or Mooney Long, I don't know how that girl says her name. Apparently, she was also one of the opening acts for the Boy Is Mine tour, which is interesting to me because I never saw any videos on my timeline of her. Because maybe my timeline is 40 and up. So all I ever saw was Kelly Rowland. I never even saw videos of her. But apparently, she had to drop out of the tour for whatever reason. And they had Maya come in her place. And the videos I saw of her, I said, what you gonna do when you can't say no? It's all about me, 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 me. Maya looked good. Maya looked good. Maya was up there dancing. Maya sounded incredible. And again, I don't know who's running that tour and who's in charge of it, but you probably just need to keep her up there. It makes more sense. Maya was out when these other girls were out. If You Died, I Wouldn't Cry Because You Never Loved Me Anyway. Like, do people not remember that album? Oh my gosh, Maya used to really be in her bag, and that album was a good one. That album was a good one. I don't know what her set is. I don't know what all she's got going on performance-wise, but the clip that I saw impressed me. She looked great. She sounded great. She needs to stay on that tour. It really does need to be Maya, Kelly Rowland, Brandy, and Monica. Period. I almost wish they weren't coming here on Friday because it is Halloween. Because I would love to see it. And you know who else I would love to see? New Edition, Boyz II Men, and Toni Braxton just announced that they are going on tour. Those tickets went on sale, I think, yesterday, actually, which I wasn't pressed to get up there and try to buy no ticket. I just bought my daughter concert tickets to a show she's going to in February. And so I don't have it in me to give Ticketmaster no more money because we all know I went to Cowboy Carter. Now this child is going to see this K-pop band in February. So I feel like the announcement of this New Edition tour was just not in God's timing for my budget. But they're going to be in Atlanta at the end of March. So, you know, between now and the day that they come, if I feel moved, like, ooh, I can't miss it, I'll just buy like a resale ticket and go. But that tour sounds like it's going to be amazing. But also in the comments, people were actually very accurate in that how that tour starts probably won't be the way that tour finishes. And unfortunately for us in Atlanta, we are at the end of that tour. Like we are at the dead end of it. We're not the last tour date, but we're somewhere very close to it. And so I'm like, man, there's a possibility that by the time I would go see them, Bobby Brown wouldn't be on tour anymore. Toni Braxton may have left the tour for whatever reason. We don't know, but those people had a good point. Also, before I go, I don't know if anybody watches Toni Braxton's reality TV show. I don't watch it because I don't like shows where women argue and fight the whole time. But the clips that I have been seeing from that on social media also have been enough for me to be like, oh, maybe they should stop doing that. Maybe this doesn't need to be on TV. Maybe this doesn't need to be on TV because now all of y'all's family business is being like broadcasted to the world. And I'm sure that wasn't your intention when these cameras went up. That looks like it is a messy show. I'm still not going to watch it, but it looks like it's super messy. And I don't have sisters, so I don't know what that whole dynamic is like. And that can't be a good representation of it. I just feel like, maybe y'all need to not be, maybe you just don't need to be on TV. I would say, if that's what y'all are doing up there, you probably should not. If anybody watches that show and they would like to fill me in on it, I've been following the drama of it just through whatever social media content that I see. And I would have to say, not seeing the show, I feel like Tamar has a point. I could be biased in that because I've always thought that Tamar was like interesting, even when she was on The Real, even when her and Vince had their own show. I can't remember what their show was called, but I remember, didn't Tamar and Vince have their own show? Or am I making that up? Or was that the early days of Braxton family values. No, I want to say Tamar had her own show, her own reality show. Anyway, I've always thought that Tamar had a personality about her that is entertaining. People might not like it, but it's been very consistently her. So that just must be who she is. And maybe her sisters don't like that. They definitely probably don't like it, that because of her personality, that'll make her say some stuff that you probably didn't want other people to know. But like my brother says, it's a dirty game and you can't complain when you chose to play. Meaning, reality TV is a dirty game and you can't complain about what gets revealed about you when you chose to be up there. So, I don't know. I think that's enough. I'm going to eat this salad. I'm going to eat this salad because this salad has all the things in it that I know I need to be eating. So when you're out, girl, compliment a woman, say something nice, make her day, bring her joy. Hopefully she does the same right back to you. Don't compete, don't compare, don't complain. What God has for you is for you, and never knock another woman's hustle. I will talk to you later this week. Love you, girl. Bye.